Welcome to Spotlight Gulf Coast, a weekly showcase of people and events across South Mississippi. Sponsored by the IP Casino Resort and Spa, Mississippi Power Company, Wykert Realtors Gulf Properties, and Butch Ostelet Autoplex.
Hi everyone, this is Todd Trenchard, Executive Director of the VACO Foundation of South Mississippi, thanking you for tuning in to another segment of Spotlight Gulf Coast right here on WXXV. Each week we're coming into your living room talking about what's going on all across South Mississippi, and we want to thank our sponsors for this generous opportunity. Of course, today we've got Amanda Ray on our first segment, and Amanda, it's been an exciting week coming back from vacation.
It really has. You're looking very refreshed.
Well, that's because y'all put me on a forced vacation, which I fought, and started liking it after a few days.
Good.
I said, what a novel idea. And by day 3, the world had not ended, and so I said, okay, well, I'm going to give this thing a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I did learn something from it. It's amazing you can go through life thinking that you're indispensable, and actually life's going to go on whether or not, but if you're not there, it probably presents a problem. So I appreciate y'all certainly encouraging that, and a lot of exciting things happening. We're coming back from the Christmas holidays, and you have a little bit of a lull there. You get a little bit lazy because you're off a little bit, but it starts speeding up now. It starts, the wheels will start turning here very quickly, and I know we both think a lot, but we didn't really take a break. I know during this time we were blessed to be able to have a wreath in the IP's event.
Right.
Tell us about that, because I know y'all put it together.
Right. Terry and I were talking. We were all excited about the IP's Wreath of Hope contest. We were coming up with different ideas of how we could make our wreath unique and hopefully win the contest. So we were talking, and we came up with, why not have little mini checks and little mini elves and Santa. Todd could be Santa.
Right.
Amanda and Terry are the elves. So it was really cute. Spent a lot of time. Cheryl with Good Games, of course, did all of the printing for us. And it turned out to be really, really cute. I definitely enjoyed doing that. It was nice whenever we got to go to the Dream Program Christmas party and actually see the wreath up at the IP.
Right.
So we tried to get people to vote. We came in as one of the runner-ups. So we did receive a check, which was always nice.
We got a little check, and I'm going to let y'all determine where that check gets to go, because
nice.
Y'all did all the work on it. I can't say that I participated in any way, but it is a great contest, and it was a great way to keep the nonprofits engaged.
Right.
They allow the IP is giving so much to this community, and any way you can get them to participate, and I think they all stepped up, and I think that I know I was looking at that list. I'm glad we didn't win, and some of them did that, and I congratulated a lot of them. Now, also this past weekend, you decided to do one of these crazy things and run one of these. I don't know what it was, 50K.
50K, 31 miles.
31 miles, okay. And this is not on a bicycle. This is not in a car.
All by foot.
So you're going to run by foot, and tell us a little bit about that, because I know that I'm trying to figure out, I was asking you this morning how long that took, but I think you did pretty well.
I did pretty well. I came out first place overall female. So I was very excited. I've done this course before, but it was right after the boys were born. So it was a little slower. Forgot how hard it was. It was in Meridian, Mississippi at Bonita Lakes. It's the Great Scorpion Trail Run. 50K, so 31 miles, all in the woods. It's constantly up and down, up and down. There was no flat. It's literally up and down the whole time. Hills, lots of roots. I think I twisted my ankle twice, almost nearly felt like I was going to die falling, but I caught myself about 5 times. So it was definitely technical, but it was a great race. It's always a fun event, good cause. My dad lives in Meridian, so I get to go home and see family as well. I want to say there was about 50 total runners for the 50K. I was 6th overall, first place female. It took about 5 hours and 40 minutes. So it was it was pretty tough.
Who's the oldest person that would do something like that? You know, because you start getting 30 miles. I mean,
you would be amazed. Actually, the ultra running community is a lot of older individuals that do that as well.
They just figured out a pace.
Yes. I mean, actually, it's a group of guys and girls that really got me into this, and they're probably in their 60s now, late 50s, 60s. Right. And they're the ones that I remember when I first started running. I went on a training run with them, and they told me about these crazy 100-milers that they do. They're actually the race organizers of the Carl Touchstone MS50 race that's in March in Laurel, and that's that 100-miler that I'll be doing. So I became good friends with them, and they always say they kind of created the little monster of me being addicted to this crazy ultra running. So
I know we've talked about what a unique concept that we could turn this into a moneymaker for kids in our community. Right. And so we started this $1 a mile.
Yes.
Pledge or even more. And of course I opened my mouth, said I'll do 5, and that's $500 if you ran 100. But it is, if you got enough people behind it, the old March of Dimes used to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great way for you to be able to fulfill your passion, but also give back into the community.
Exactly.
So this is sort of a little warm up for that.
Right.
And again, I think that it has a lot of teeth to it because there's a lot of health conscious people that are out there. I always talk about older people because when I was younger, I was so competitive, you had to win everything.
Right.
And as you get older, you can't. Your mind tells you you can, but your body obviously can't. So, you know, a lot of times, like you said, the older people, their time may not be the best, but everybody's a winner in something like this.
Everybody. I mean, it's you against yourself out there. I mean, it's really more of course, the goal is always to run the race the best that I can, hopefully placing, but it's also very spiritual. You know, it's me against myself in the woods. It's quiet time, alone time.
It is running is incredibly spiritual. And, you know, as a runner high, I showed my bruises and stuff as I floated down the beach and ran into a bench. But you can get on that runner's high and there's nothing else like it.
Right.
I mean, you start waking up every morning thinking about it. You go to bed at night, you can't wait till the run the next day. And it becomes a part of your life. And when you don't, you know it.
Right.
You start feeling the
Absolutely.
negative forces. So yeah, it's certainly a great release, and I know you are a proponent of it. I am, and hopefully we can get more kids. I see y'all also did a little kids run.
We did.
I saw that.
My friend, every year for New Year's, Libby Rickley hosts a New Year's Champagne 1 mile fun run. So the adults will do the little champagne run, and then we have the little kids run after. And it's just a good time, half-mile run. All of our kids come out, family friendly, just a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go to a commercial break. I know we're going to be talking to Kerry Boylan with Goodwill Industries. And I know we got some great guests coming up over the next month and a half. We'll be talking about the name change that's coming in place, announcing the Jolly, some of the great things we have coming up this coming year. So you don't want to touch that remote. We're talking about all the exciting things that will be coming in 2023. And we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Welcome back, everyone. And of course, Amanda, we're joined by Kerry Boylan, and Kerry is with Goodwill Industries. Kerry, tell me your title again.
I am Donor Development Manager. I'm happy to be here, Todd. Thank you.
Donor Development Manager, and obviously you're from Van Cleve or somewhere north of here.
Well, actually, I do live in Van Cleve. However, clearly I'm not originally from Van Cleve, originally from London. And came to the United States a long time ago.
You don't see a lot of people from, you know, London or England over here, but when you do, you certainly know the accent. And what brought you down here? I guess that would be the question.
What brought me to South Mississippi?
Yeah.
Family.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband's family is here on the coast.
And then how long have you worked with Goodwill?
About 9 months, 10 months now, something like that, yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Goodwill. You were telling us a history of Goodwill.
Right.
And I certainly did not know what you were saying, and let's expand on that a little bit.
Okay, I'd be happy to. Goodwill was started by a Methodist minister in 1902 in Boston, and he observed the plight of the immigrants and other people unable to find work. So he took it upon himself to go to the wealthiest parts of Boston and go door to door with a couple of burlap sacks and asking people for their gently used household items for repair, and anything else that they no longer wanted. And he then took those back to this part of Boston and converted one of the houses or one of the buildings and put folks to work repairing these items for resale. And that's how he paid them a livable wage.
And that's where the Goodwill stores, I guess, come from today.
That is
the same sort of concept of taking something that maybe somebody doesn't want and somebody else would be their gold mine. I know the stores are very well kept. I mean, I've been through a few of them over here, and the manager's on the ball, put it that way.
Yeah, we're very proud of our associates, that's for sure. They do. They run a very, very well-organized store. They take pride in the donations that are given to us. We are always so terribly grateful to the public donating their items to us at the donor door, and then it goes through all the sorting and the processing in the back, and eventually it ends up on the sales floor. And somebody that didn't want that piece of art, somebody else will buy it. And that helps fuel our social enterprise, started by Reverend Helms, which was to really help those that had a barrier to work. People that want to work and can't find a livable wage job with benefits. Right. We help those folks. We help the job seekers, and we help the career developers through our career connections in Ocean Springs.
Okay.
And it's all free to the public: resume writing, career advising, more training that's needed for them to develop their own career. We work alongside our associates to help develop them as well.
Right.
It's a very different organization, and I absolutely love it. When you know you're part of a mission and you're making a difference in the lives of others, it energizes you to get up in the morning, and I know you both understand that.
Now, where did y'all meet? I mean,
we know each other from the YMCA.
Okay.
I was an instructor at the time, and then I started full-time as membership marketing director, and Kerry was always such a go-getter and always coming in offering volunteerism and any help with anything with the humanitarian banquet. She was definitely always just a bright light in the YMCA and definitely a go-getter. So I think
we'll have to get her. We'll get her. We'll put her to work for us. I mean, you know anything about golf tournaments and fashion shows?
Is that the golf tournament? Oh dear, yeah. I know nothing about golf.
Now I know Goodwill in New Orleans. I know they were focusing a lot on some of the people that had physical handicaps, and they would give them an opportunity to, and my father was a real big proponent of that, and they worked very closely with the hospitals. When somebody would, get a prosthesis or something, they would, teach them how they could do it. And Goodwill was that organization that would do that.
We do the exact same thing here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We do work with the Department of Rehabilitation Services, and we do work assessments for their clients, to your point, those that maybe have had a life-altering surgery and can no longer work in the career that they used to be able to do.
Right.
We help them transition into something else. At Goodwill. In addition to that, we also employ folks, our custodial services, where our Good Works department employs about 75 people, those of which have documented disabilities, and they are our vital custodial crew out at Keesler Air Force Base and the CB base. They clean 1 million square feet every night.
Wow. And that's a very admirable, I guess, undertaking, and certainly something that you don't think about. But there are causes out there. Now, in this, when you say of South Mississippi, what does that entail?
Okay, so kind of backing up a little bit, I don't think people realize that Goodwill is independently operated as a nonprofit governed by a board of directors, local community leaders that run the organization. And Goodwill Industries of South Mississippi is responsible for the 6 coastal counties.
Okay.
We have 11 retail stores that run up and down the Gulf Coast, including Loosedale and Picayune. In addition to that, there are about 155 Goodwills in the United States. And there are 3 Goodwill industries in Mississippi, one in all the way in the north, and then we've got in the middle of Mississippi that includes Jackson, and then we have Goodwill here on the Gulf Coast.
And now Goodwill International.
Okay.
So they're the next layer up.
That's right. So think of it, I like to compare it to a United Way. So the local United Ways, we get to work with the international arm of the United Way. So when we talk about Goodwill, we have all kinds of resources at our disposal.
So you work with the Wynn Job Center, or
we can, and we
like...
do. Yeah, we partner locally with Wynn, and we also partner with MDES, Mississippi Department of Unemployed. Yeah, we partner with them, but we also partner with folks like Home of Grace with our training and career development. We're getting ready to go mobile, so I'm very excited about our mobile training programs.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, we can talk more about that if you'd like.
Okay, we've got just about 30 seconds on this particular, I guess, segment. If somebody wanted more information about Goodwill, how do they get in touch with you?
They can email me at kboylan@goodwillsms.org. They can visit our website and find out more information about what we do, and that is goodwillsms.org. And I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody may have.
Well, we got 8 more minutes, so we're going to talk a little bit more. So
right.
y'all don't touch that remote. We're going to be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're talking about Goodwill Industries, and Amanda, I'm not sure how familiar you are with some of the places like we think America's Thrift Store, you think Salvation Army. Today, it seems like a lot of the nonprofits have gotten this same sort of concept, but these are big money makers that, hey, maybe Bacon McCarty needs to have I know we started one with Youth for Christ, and it's become a big...
Brad is one of my most favorite people on the planet.
I was their development director way back in the day. When
you were?
Brad started, oh yeah. That was my first job out of Home of Grace.
Brad and I serve on the same youth ministry team at Cedar Lake Church.
Okay.
And so yeah, he and I are very close.
Okay.
And I agree. There are a lot of people that are using a thrift store as a way to fund some of their programs, but I like to say that Goodwill does it best.
Well, and these thrift stores are a value. I mean, I used to go in them all the time, and you would find things. I mean, they were my pride and joy when I was first coming out of Home of Grace. I found a pair of Cole Haans that I still got today.
There you go. I always say this. Whenever I'm speaking publicly, I always ask people in the room, how many of you here are either donators or shoppers at Goodwill? And I guarantee you 99% of the room raises their hands, and we are so grateful for the trust that the public gives to us, because we really are using that funding to not only provide over 250 jobs here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, but we're taking in folks that maybe 75% or a little bit more may have some kind of barrier to employment. Now, I will say this, Todd, most people think of Goodwill, they think of people that have physical or mental disabilities, but we look at it as barriers to employment. So we're willing to take on folks that maybe have had some addiction problems, or and they've come out of it. And so we work with organizations to give these folks a chance. Folks that maybe are looking to do something different. To your point when we were talking earlier, someone that's had a life-altering operation that now has to look at doing something else in order to work. But we believe in giving people not only second chances, but livable wages and opportunities to grow. And therefore that has a beautiful trickle-down effect to their families, being able to support their families, which then of course, strengthens our community and makes everything a better place to live, you know?
I think it's sort of neat to see people that work in the nonprofit field and in that work. I know you worked at the YMCA and you got to see a lot of the general public coming in. You've worked with the American Heart Association.
Yep.
And, now Goodwill. And, you know, I've been doing this now 20-something years of going around and seeing just the heart that some people have. You can't do this for the money. You have to do this for the passion.
Absolutely.
You're making a difference. And if you didn't feel like you're making it, usually you'll find something else to do or go find a place that you do feel.
Well, I think that's really important. The mission of the organization with ours is to strengthen families and build these better communities by giving people the opportunity to learn and the power of work, good work, being paid their worth and being given benefits like everybody else. So I always encourage anybody out there that's an employer to consider being what I call a second chance employer, which means giving opportunities to folks that typically wouldn't be given.
Give me some examples, I guess, of some places that are referral. You mentioned the Home of Grace.
Home of Grace is one. Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence is another. And there are other partners, Disability One. We work with Source America and the Ability One program with our folks that are employed out at Keesler and the CB base, and these partnerships that are continuously being developed and maintained here on the Gulf Coast and beyond.
Do y'all do any partnerships with, say, the community college, where you have students that maybe?
Well, you heard it first. We're actually opening a second career connections, and that'll be on the MGCC campus in Gaucher, and that's coming up in the spring of this year. We're very excited.
Yeah,
we're very excited to be doing that. Our virtual reality program, that's an expansion of what we already have, and we've actually purchased, thanks to some supporters in 2022, 2 headsets where you literally can jump into the world and be
This will be available to students.
Yeah. Not just students, but anybody. And it doesn't cost. People think that, you know, to get certified in digital training or any other soft skills, they have to pay for the certification. It's all at no cost to the public.
So this is one of those things you see in the movies 10 years ago. You put it on your head.
Yeah, it's the exact same concept.
And I'm going to be like skiing.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
But this is being used for learning and career development.
Well, usually they do that silliness on TV and some kids watching it and go, I'll build that. And they do.
Exactly. But now we're doing virtual reality and workforce development, which I'm all for. Yeah, we're very excited. We're at the very beginning stages of it. So that's exciting. The other certification that we're going to make what I call a public offering is Rise Up, and that's a sales and certified training program that's actually underwritten and certified by the National Retail Federation. So for folks that are looking to hone their skills in retail and customer service, but I think everybody needs to know some level of customer service. So, and these are all free trainings offered by your local Goodwill at absolutely no charge. Come on into our Career Connections in Ocean Springs.
You're like a little commercial.
I am. I like a little infomercial.
What do you think the biggest need is right now for Goodwill?
We will never ever turn away donations, and also those that are interested in supporting us financially. And so the biggest need is all of the above. I mean, it's a constant cycle, and now we're introducing that new level of asking folks here on the Gulf Coast to support us financially, and we've had quite a good level of interest, and so I'm excited. If I'm invited back, I'll give you an update, Todd.
Well, we'll make sure that happens. Now, if somebody wanted to donate, and you're talking about appliances, clothing, y'all have that type of thing. Do you have drop boxes? Do you have?
We don't have drop boxes. We invite them to drop at one of our local retail stores, where we've suspended pickups for the time being, due to basically cost. Of driving all of our trucks, because we rely on our own infrastructure. So we may get an overabundance of donations at one of our stores, in which case we will then send a driver and go to another store.
All right. So, well, I appreciate all this update, and we've covered a lot of material. And again, say hello to the people in London. And I know
I will.
We got Prince Charles over there. And, like I said, I think everybody is sort of intrigued by anybody from over there, but appreciate you coming on. And we appreciate everybody's support of the Baco Foundation of South Mississippi. Until next time, this is Todd Trenchard and Amanda Ray saying so long, and may God bless.